It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi guys, it's me. Oh, that's not me. Just kidding. Hi guys, welcome back. We're back to talk about 90 Day Fiancé, and I have two very special people here as always because I can't do this without them. I don't want to sit here by myself and talk about 90 Day. I just want to have a good time and talk about what exactly went down on the episode and also what happened with Julia coming back home from Russia. So with that, let's bring them up. Hi, Miriam. Did you like that?
His great face.
I
literally was startled.
Okay.
No offense. I was startled. I was like, oh, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, listen, I'm always here to promote Angela.
Oh.
That was sad. That
wasn't sad. Well, one thing before we get going, were those flowers out of her garden?
Those are fake flowers.
Those are not fake.
I thought fake.
No, those are real.
Those are real. Those are like you were walking inside, you had a couple weeds outside, you picked them out of the weeds, you stuck them in your head, and you were like, this is sexy. I look like a little majestic deer.
She tried.
That's what I was getting from that. All right. Well, with that, guys, I just want to ask you, and I want to start off like this. Last night's episode, some parts got me and they kept my attention and other parts did not. I don't know if I necessarily loved last night's episode. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it a 4 or a 5. It didn't keep my attention fully, but there were some parts that I did like. Before you guys go ahead and rate it, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. Kempar, we'll start with you. What would you give it?
Oh, I mean, you were being generous with the 4 or 5. Honestly, it was a pretty bad episode. I was in and out. I'd probably give it a 3 out of 10.
Okay. I mean, I think that's fair. That's fair. Miriam?
1.
It was that bad, huh?
It was terrible. I feel like yesterday they highlighted everything that's going wrong with this season. It was all packed in one.
Yeah, but
what we don't want to hear, what we don't want to see, or what we don't like was there yesterday.
No, and I mean, honestly, we'll start with Julia and then we'll get into the episode and kind of debunk it a little bit. But let's just start with Julia. We'll start with Julia. All right. So Julia was on her way back from Russia. When she was going to Russia, everybody was wondering what's going on with Julia. Are her and Brandon breaking up? That is not the case. They did not break up. They're not getting a divorce. She actually just went for a few wild nights to have a good time, probably see her family, and she was coming back. On the way, somewhere in between, she stopped in Thailand and got a pair of brass knuckles, which she thought was a souvenir. Okay. She thought the brass knuckles were a souvenir and not a weapon. And she tried to bring them back on the plane to where they found the weapon and they decided to detain her. Now, after a little bit of back and forth, they found out that it was a misunderstanding. But moral of the story is, at the end of the day, we do not bring weapons on planes. This was such a stupid mistake. I don't even feel sorry for you being detained for having brass knuckles. I felt sorry for her being detained, period. I was like, oh, but then when I found out, oh, you didn't know you can't bring brass knuckles on a plane?
And why would that be your souvenir from Thailand?
Mm-hmm.
If I were Brandon's mom, I'd be concerned. She's like, I don't want to go live on the farm. I'm like, okay, Julia, calm down, sis. Miriam?
I have no words. It seems like it was done on purpose because they are running out of a storyline or something to fuel on, whatever.
Do you think she would purposely get herself detained?
Because this is kind of common knowledge and she's not the first time traveling. So it would be hard to give her the past that she didn't know. It's not her first time in the rodeo, like riding an airplane.
And for her to say, I thought it was a souvenir, like, listen, maybe like little brass knuckles, like the size of a keychain that hangs on your keychain. Okay, maybe that's a souvenir. But when you have the metal knuckles that actually fit your knuckles, that's kind of common sense. Like, this isn't even, I just feel like I feel sorry for you. I took it, I flushed it down the toilet. I put it out there with Ramona, who also put her shit down the toilet. And I was like, nope, I'm done with it. We're done. I can't talk about this. This is just annoying.
Ramona put it on the floor, not the
toilet. Okay. And she went back and cleaned it up and put her makeup in the toilet.
That was her footprint. Shit is Ramona's footprint.
Oh, God.
Well, we'll definitely be back sometime this week to talk about that. But getting back to 90 Day, if you had to say one storyline that's keeping you interested the most, if you had to pick one, and I know right now it's really hard to choose because there's not a whole lot going on, but if you had to pick one, which one would it be?
I go first?
Sure.
I would pick Yara and Jovi, not because of them, because of the baby. Listen, he made me pick one, okay? He made me pick one. I would pick none. But yesterday, I started becoming concerned. Maybe Yara, she's in a postpartum depression and she doesn't know. I can relate with what she's going through, not because maybe I had, but I wasn't diagnosed. But I feel like this overprotectiveness towards the child, this is so natural when you're the first time mom. Like, seriously, my son, if he would touch something, I would shower him. When it got to my third child, okay, you're not, you didn't get a fever eating that off the floor, it's fine. So it's a journey. It's a journey of motherhood. So, right. But sometimes I feel like, why is she doing that? She was extremely rude yesterday. I'm not picking them because I liked what I saw. I really like Jovi's mom. I really do. Because she's the mature person in that relationship, to be honest.
Right.
Jovi has valid points and Yara has valid points, but they got to meet in the middle somehow for their story to work.
But I honestly think you're right, though. It's Jovi's mom who probably has the most valid points, and this might be one of them. This was a little ridiculous.
It was terrible.
That was terrible, and I definitely don't think that was for a storyline. And before we ask Kempire what couple he's going with, since he passed judgment on you, we're going to pass judgment on Kempire. I can agree with you in the sense that I've been around babies and I've had my sisters and sister-in-laws and brothers, they've had kids, and I see how protective the moms do get over the babies. But I can also see where Jovi's like, I still want to spend time with you too. Is there, you're so left, I'm so right over here. I want your time. You just want to be with the baby. Is there somewhere that we can meet in the middle? And she's just kind of drawing this line in the sand, like, no, right now, Mila is so little. This is how it's going to go. This is how we live our lives. When you're not here and you're working, we're not changing shit for you. That's not necessarily fair.
That's wrong.
Okay. Kempire?
Okay. Before I tell you who my favorite couple is, I'm sure a lot of people can guess this. However, in regards to Yara and Jovi, what I got from watching this couple this last episode, besides being bored, is the fact that these are people that we know. We know people that have been in these particular situations. However, we don't want them on our television show.
Shady.
I'm bored with them.
Well, yes. And I'm so sick of them going furniture shopping and they never walk out with the damn furniture because they get into a fight before they actually make it to the furniture. It's like a housewife show where they always get into the fight before they eat.
It's called window shopping.
That was the worst part of it.
Just buy the damn crib.
Okay. The baby is the cutest, though. The baby is so cute. However, I'm bored. I am bored.
How inappropriate is the place for him? This is where they lost me yesterday. It seemed like the producer told Jovi, bring up the vacation while you're furniture shopping, because that came out so out of left field. I would have, it would have been more natural if they waited to get out of that furniture store, hopefully after having purchased something, they're having coffee or on their way home, and he would be telling her, hey, listen, I get it, you're alone, and when I'm not home, this is why you have her like sleeping in the bed. I understand that, but also like we have to try to make a quality time of the little quantity of time that we have together. So that would have been more natural, but for him to bring up that they need to go somewhere in the middle of furniture shopping, it was odd.
And I could see where she's like, this is one thing after another, but also at the same time, I find Yara to be a little selfish too. And the only reason I'm saying that, only because, you know, he goes away, he works. I understand she's taking care of the baby and everything, but even the way she acts towards his family, like she's like, oh, I'm the princess and you guys do everything for me. And she holds the baby and doesn't let anybody else hold the baby while they're all moving her shit out of the house. And they're like feeding her. They're like doing everything except sticking the straw in her mouth. I think sometimes like she takes it overboard as well. And it kind of gets a little bit annoying. She acts like a princess, which is great. She's the queen of her house. I get that. But, you know, there again is no real middle ground here. And it kind of seems like it's because they're both so young, even though they're really not that young. They're old enough to be parent. I don't know anymore.
She's not marriage mature yet. And I totally agree with you. I think she's taking overboard all the time because she's very lucky to have in-laws, very nice in-laws, like she does, because that wouldn't fly with anyone. She has a little bit of right, like, okay, I'm alone here and I don't have family, but then she takes that and she tries to justify all her obnoxious behavior because of that. So if you're right, a wrong can make a right wrong as well. So the way that she's delivering her piece or trying to get her things the way she wants is totally out of line, in my opinion.
And kicking them out after being there only 2 hours, and they drove 2 hours to be there.
And at 6 o'clock at night. Listen, if Jason ever said to me, if Jason invited my parents down, my dad lives in Orlando, which is about 2.5 hours away, 2 hours away. And if he came down to have dinner, and then Jason was like, I'm so sorry, it's 6 o'clock. You guys didn't like the food. Ukrainian Christmas is wrapped up. I just need you guys to leave because we're putting the baby down. My dad would be like, are you going to make me leave? No? Then sit your ass down and shut up. Shut up. This is my kid's house too. My dad would not, like, there's no way. My mom would be even worse. Oh my God. She would put on boxing gloves and be like, come on, Jason, let's do our round. Like, it would be they just would not respond well to this. So watching Jovi's mom, she was very respectful about it. But I think that she knows she has to try extra hard than Yara tries to have a good relationship there. And she wants to make sure that she stays in Mila's life. And Yara has full control. If Yara does not want Jovi's mom around, she will get her way. And honestly, if it becomes that big of a fight at the end of the day, she'll pack her shit up and go straight back to the Ukraine. She doesn't care. She'll do it.
I have a question to Compire. Didn't Yara Kenya's hosting skills look good?
No. At least she still had food. Yara had food.
Oh, that food would.
It doesn't matter. She had food.
Oh no! Oh please! That food is very like like the Housewives of Dallas couldn't have eaten that off of a 5-star hotel in Denmark.
Look, unless I'm having the food myself, I can't say if it was good or not. Everyone has very different tastes. It could have been really good, and they just don't like that type of food.
Oh God, I don't know.
None of you tasted it.
I
tasted it through the TV, and I'm saying no. My palate is saying no.
It was
the biggest issue for me was her kicking them out after they traveled. I didn't realize they had to travel 2 hours just to get there. That was rude. She could have taken the baby into the room and put the baby to sleep.
And also, when you have a baby, correct me if I'm not a mom, I don't know, but my sisters would always make sure that everything in the house was just always the same routine, and the loudness was there. That way they got used to it, as opposed to keeping it quiet and where you could hear pins and needles drop, because then they just didn't want to tiptoe around the baby when the baby's sleeping. They wanted to keep it normal so the baby would learn to sleep through loud noises. And for Jovi's mom, I think that's what she was trying to say. She's like, stick her in the room, let her be on the bed, and close the door.
That's what I used to do. It's not that I had people every day, but I stick to the routine of the baby. If the baby's cranky, I excuse myself and I go inside the room to calm the baby down and put the baby to sleep. She could have done that, but she's so caught up in her own ways. She feels like it's her way or the highway. And just because she's sacrificing being here alone, that anything she wants will fly. That's what she thinks.
And I think Jovi is making her get away with way too much at this point. There has to be a balance here. Yes, we've moved here, but my family just traveled 2 hours. They're going to stay here. He should have put his foot down with that.
Yes.
Yeah, be a man, Jovi.
But he's a boy.
No, and I'm not saying be a man like the man has the final say. I just mean like you insert yourself, like you said, you put your foot down.
Relationship.
Yeah, it's a relationship. It's a two-way street. Unless you're with me, then I'm a dictator. So it's very different.
Oh my!
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right, let's definitely. Okay, let's keep it moving. We have to move on to the next person. And Kimpire, this is probably... Wait a minute, Kimpire. What couple was interesting you the most?
Of course, it had to be my girl Angela and Michael and that cringeworthy... Oh!
She's like, swing it around for me. Swing it around.
God. It was...
You know what I have to say about this moment? One, the psychic was a sham. And I saw somebody put a meme out that said is that Skyla dressed up as a psychic with a fake accent and trying to just like Angela hired Skyla to dress up like this just to sway this out in her favor, which I was laughing, But the psychic was totally team Angela. She was not non-biased at all. And again, when he was saying, I need space, nobody's listening to let him finish what he's saying. He's saying, I need space because Angela, he can't even go, I hate saying this word, but he has to go do his thing into a cup to go test his sperm. And he can't do that without her watching because she doesn't trust him. So this falls under the category, the little cloud of space. Give me my space, man. That's all he's asking.
What is your favorite part of all that, Kimpire?
Okay, it was cringeworthy this episode. I didn't enjoy their... Oh, Lord.
Thank you.
I didn't enjoy, seeing her in the bathtub or Michael's belly. But with that being said, it was the most entertaining to watch, I have to say, of the entire really terrible episode. Again, Angela saves the day for this episode because she was funny. And I know it's pre-produced because she was just mad at Michael a couple of weeks ago. So... it's very convenient. All of a sudden now you want to have lovey-dovey time with you in the tub and him on Zoom. She doesn't even know how to use Zoom. She's like, oh, let me end the meeting. Close laptop. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Do you guys remember Jersey Shore?
Yes.
Do you remember Jay Wow's tagline when she's like, first I'll have sex with a man and then I will rip his head off? It's like, that's the vibe I'm getting here. It's just like that. I need you when I need you. I need you when I'm like feeling good in that way, but then otherwise, like you're at my disposal and I'm going to treat you however I want to treat you. The only one thing that I didn't like about this scene and what was going on, Angela's total storyline this episode, was when she finally revealed her boobs. Michael's not obviously an actor. He's not an actor. So his reaction was very real. And he was just like, and I was like, oh no, that is not how I would want you to look at me. That would break my heart. And she was just happy that he wasn't BSing her. She was happy that, okay, that's his honest reaction. That I can live with. He said they're okay. I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, can you fake it?
Finished product yet. You know what I mean? There's still healing, means like you can still see stitches which go away with time if the plastic surgeon is good. This is what happens. Like I had a friend of mine, she went through a long process of healing and she was kind of disappointed because her expectations were in a month, it would be perfect looking, right? So that's not the case. And let alone like how hypocritical of Angela blaming her health issues with Michael when I think she wasn't smoking during that fake tarot reading with the fake accent woman.
Somebody said she didn't read any of the cards.
They needed some tarot to do their reading.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, she might leave you. Excuse me? Like, what are you talking about? She might leave him. She always leaves him. She always yells at him from day one. She doesn't give him room to finish a sentence. Like, he's not allowed to have a say or an opinion in anything.
I'm trying to see where you're getting at, Miriam. This is why we love her on the show.
But
I don't love her on the show.
Miriam's like, excuse me. Actually, I don't.
Ooh.
But one thing I have to say is
to the older ladies that want to have a relationship with younger men. If we remember 2 seasons back, the one that was with Aladdin,
Danielle. Oh no, not Danielle.
forgot her name, but she's the sweetest person on earth, and they had almost like kind of the same issues in the relationship. Other than like Aladdin, he had like he's better looking, or he can provide for himself. It's not like the same situation, but she was so kind, and even like, and she used to stand her ground and do what she wanted to do, but in a softer way. I feel like just
and that's why she's no longer on the show.
Well, and Angela, she won't be her longevity. I feel like it's countdown is on, because she's coming off racist, to be honest with you. She is. I'm sorry.
How so?
Oh, the way she speaks with him, the way that she is here and he's there because she's American. Come on, Kempire. It's triggering me. I don't like the way she talks to him. I don't. They have 1,000 things to disagree on. She doesn't need to be the way she is with him. She doesn't let him breathe, like almost like he can't say anything. He can't have a say. He can't be upset with her, which anybody would be upset if the wife goes for a nose job and doesn't tell him ahead of time. Just like we have the other couple coming up, like he's not allowed to have anything. It's like whatever money she's given him, or makes she own him. I don't like that. I really don't.
I have to kind of
love Angela.
I have to agree a little bit with Miriam in the sense that it does sort of sometimes feel, I don't know if I would say racist at all, but I do feel like Angela has this, because she is American, it's almost sort of this complex of, no matter what, I'm here and you're lucky that you should even be talking to me because I'm American. Yeah. And, like I'm always going to be here, and don't forget where you come from because you don't have crap. And that's not, like she definitely does display that sort of behavior. I think it's like I'm more than, you're less than, you're lucky that I'm even talking to you sort of thing.
Exactly. And
I love Angela.
Question for you guys. Before we came on live, her name is Chrissy. She asked me, do you think Angela sends money to Michael? I don't. I would think she sends.
We know she does.
But who gets paid by TLC?
The American.
Angela only.
Yeah, Angela. And Angela divvies it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you would have to have technically a temporary or a working visa and for them to be able to pay him. So they pay it to her, and they let her. This is with all the American ones.
So they can't even pay him like as a W-9 thing outside abroad, because he's not in the United States technically. So it's not like he's working here.
I believe from the interviews that I've done, talking to, like when I talked to Andrew about Amira, and when I've talked to a few other people, how it usually works is the American gets the money, and then they have like an agreement, just like a verbal agreement between the two, and then they just divide the money, usually, hopefully, if they stay together. If they don't stay together, then they're not dividing shit, and the American's just going to take the money. But
yeah,
I don't know. That's a really crap system if that's the way it works.
It is crappy. I feel like he is, by default, he's weaker in every shape and form. Like she has a character, she has a personality. I don't want to take that away from her, but she needs to calibrate it a little bit so that it keeps us engaged and not feeling bad for Michael all the time. This is how I really feel bad for Michael.
You feel bad for Michael, a grown man that can easily say, I'm not going to do this?
Well, let me tell you.
Or be treated this way on television
Kempire,
for how many seasons?
Kempire, this is the thing. It's when you live when you live abroad and when you're raised, it's different. It's not the same thing. Not that I feel that Michael really loves Angela. I really do. I really do. And I feel like he loves the idea of coming to America too. The same intensity. So you can say he's been an opportunist here. I understand. I'm not saying he's not, because I don't know him. But my point is, when Africa is very poor, it's below poverty. Like middle class people in the United States are looked at as if we are rich, extremely rich, considering to the way they live there.
Right.
And this is where he is by default, in a weaker situation. And if this is how he has been providing for himself lately, so he's definitely will cater and put up with everything that Angela throws his way. This is where Angela just needs to tone it down a little bit, because they've been entertaining us so far, yes, but now it's kind of crossing the line.
It's like aggressive. You feel it's aggressive.
Very aggressive, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Kempire. But
Why are you sorry? That's your opinion, even though I disagree.
Whoa!
Look, you know, and this is why I disagree. I know that you're taking it as serious as it's displayed to us on the show. I don't take Angela's behavior. I take Angela trying to do it up for TV. I don't believe that's necessarily how she truly is, but I don't know her. But I do think that she's playing it up for TV. And I think they have that agreement.
do you believe the relationship is real?
Oh, God, I don't even know anymore. Based on what we saw this last episode, they're definitely playing this game. They're playing these pre-produced. Because if Michael was really mad at Angela, he wouldn't be so easy. Oh, okay, now we're gonna do a Zoom, date of you in the tub. Come on now.
Yeah, but then she could be like, "You do it, or I lock you off."
Yes.
You already probably locked him off.
I felt like they were co-workers yesterday, to be honest with you.
Well, okay. I guess let's keep it moving. There's another couple on here that Kempire buys every piece of their storyline. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. I kind of get whiplash from this family. Do you know where I'm going?
You see the tire marks on my forehead from you throwing me under the bus?
Hey, I like that. Well, Kempire, somebody's got to do it here.
You have lines. It's so straight.
All right, so we're back to talk about Andrei and Libby. This whole thing that happened at the reunion, the family reunion I just went to wasn't as exciting as this family reunion because shit was going down. But Andrei acting like an ass over a babysitter. One, it's called time and place, and that was not the time or the place. And two, when they went home and all of a sudden they're playing the foosball. Is it Becky's husband that's messy as hell going back down there? Is that who it is, Becky?
No,
it's her husband.
Job. He was planted there to have that said in front of him, and he left. That is the most pre-produced piece of scene that we've seen so far from this family.
Yeah, it's coming off like I'm buying the pre-produced part of it all. I feel like they really don't like each other, but now they're at this point they're like, listen, we're all getting cut a little bit of the pie here, which they can't really all be getting cut a little bit of the pie because the pie is only like 20 or 25, maybe $30,000. So by the time you split that with like 4 different families, you're not really getting anything. Like $7,000 a piece, they're not going to do that. So really, they're all putting an effort in here in order to get a spinoff, just like the family Chantel. I don't know though. I mean,
some people just like being on TV, even if it doesn't mean they're getting any money. Some people just like, oh my God, I saw you on 90 Day Fiancé. Some people are just in it for that.
And it could help their business. Like they could help them sell real estate.
What's their business?
Real estate.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Real estate and then part-time little convicts.
Are they on OnlyFans?
I think Libby isn't she?
And her sister, isn't she?
They're making side money. They're definitely making side money.
Oh God!
And we're promoting it. Oh,
yes.
and we're promoting it. You're right. You're right. No, but when Chuck offered and he said, "Listen, I got a new house," Baba, you could tell he was a little bit tipsy here. He's like, "I want you to go in on it with me," and then we see the preview for next week's episode, and it makes sense what he's saying. He's like, "Listen, I helped every single one of you, and you guys are getting kind of angry for what? I did the same thing for you. Now I'm trying to do the same thing for them." And they're looking at it like it's just Andrei, but it's not just Andrei. It's Andrei and Libby and the baby. So that's it kind of makes sense. And the only reason I buy some of this, and I feel like there's a little bit of truth here, is because my family does the same thing. If one person gets something, then the rest of the family is like, well, why the hell are you doing that for them? And then this person gets pissed off that everybody else is in their business. Then my parents get mad that everyone's even questioning their finances. And it becomes a whole Andrei, Libby, Becky, Charlie, Chuck, BS extravaganza.
Yeah, the dislikeness is definitely true. And the family dynamics is true. Having said that, there is a mix of they feel supreme to Andrei or any immigrant that comes from abroad, plus the jealousy that Libby is on the show. Libby is really the golden goose for their fame or infamous, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think there's that jealousy also there from the sisters and the brother, because she's the one who brought them to the limelight, you know?
Right.
Without Libby and Andrei, they're nothing. And maybe this is why the dad is now catering for Andrei's opportunistic.
But what would you rather have? The limelight that comes with TLC 90 Day, which is like, what is that? Because you either, I mean, it's not, no, but I'm being for real though. It's like, that's not like Big Ed kind of monetized on it in a good, like a great way. He made a lot of money. And Larissa went OnlyFans direction. She made, what did she make? Like $100,000 in 1 month or something. She did really well for herself, but that's not going to last forever. 90 Day Fame is not like, it's not like you're a housewife. So to me, I just don't, I think I would rather be Becky and the other sister and the brother Charlie, who have successful businesses, beautiful homes. Like they have their shit together. And Libby and Andrei kind of don't.
Yeah.
I believe it's just a storyline, though. Honestly, do I think the father trusts Andrei enough, who just got his real estate license, to go and sell real estate for him? I mean, if he does, then he is just as dumb as we think he is.
Well, it's a storyline. Let's face it. Did we forget like all the what prefaced the wedding abroad? And all of a sudden now he wants to play football and he's thanking him for driving the RV. Oh my God, that trip is the trip from hell. First of all,
this is the trip from hell.
I don't understand how comfortable they are to be in an RV. Like, I don't think that was needed. First of all, that was brought up just for the show. The RV, my favorite family member, again, the RV was brought up just for the show, and then Charlie is not in the RV. He is extremely obnoxious while he's driving, and in the confessional, every other word is the B word, like he's cursing at them. So, and then
the way he talks to them is very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
Like he's like, shut the fuck up and you and this and this and this, and it's like
exactly.
But then Libby's getting mad that he was called the D word. Like, that doesn't make sense to me either. It's like, your husband's kind of an ass. So if your sisters feel that way and they're calling him an ass, it's probably because he's being an ass.
Well, he is. We all can agree on that, can we?
Yeah. No. But I think he's look, I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I like to twerk on the fence. I just feel yeah, I say that all the time.
That's all I'm about.
You know how people ride the fence? I twerk on the fence.
Okay.
But here's the thing. The same with Angela. They know what works. The producers want them to act this way to they think this is what keeps people entertained in the family. But we are truly not entertained by these characters anymore. And that's why we gave them such low ratings for this last episode. I don't know what they're going to do. And I'm sure the ratings are reflecting. I can't tell you the amount of comments I've seen where people said, I stopped watching.
Yeah.
Was the busiest night on reality TV. Like I talk about homework, Potomac, Shaz, 90 Day, and Watch What Happens Live. That needs a whole.
You're busy.
You're busy.
No, I was. Yes. Because I'm a fan. I'm busy. I want to know what's happening. But then again, when you compare all of them, I'm like, that's not working. I don't think it's working.
Yeah, especially because Potomac is getting better. I mean, it started off good, and then this episode kind of lost me for a second, but I feel like this Mia and Wendy thing is going to be a thing. Also, Mia doesn't give herself any sort of credibility by not knowing how to count sometimes. What goes on with her. It's going to be good. And then watching the fact that she's not backing down from Wendy. And Wendy also kind of annoyed me this past episode when she's like, I'm not done. It's like...
Class is in session.
I would have just slapped her finger out of my face and been like, "You're done now. You're done now." Actually,
she pretty much did that. But the fans are getting Wendy in her comments because she was coming at Mia on social media last night, and the fans were ripping her a new one
and being a liar. And It's like, but for Dr. Wendy Osefo, she's coming at her there's no actual reason for her. She just knows she needs to have a riff with somebody, and Mia's obviously an easy target because she didn't show complete and like utter loyalty to to Karen. And I know, aren't you talking about this with Layla Lynn today?
Yes, at 1:30 p.m. Eastern on her channel.
All right, 1:30 p.m. Eastern on her channel, and then tomorrow Layla Lynn is going to be on with us. So,
yeah, there's a lot. And
12:30 or 1:30. I'll be posting it. But we'll have to debunk that tomorrow, and Kim Pyro will be debunking it today at 1:30. So if you guys want to talk Potomac, then make sure you head over to Layla Lynn's channel, and they're going to have a great conversation. I'm sure they never
over the fence.
They'll be twerking over the fence. But before we go, we have a few more people to talk about. It's not the two on the right. Oh. We still have this man, Mike himself, Mike and Natalie. Mike and Natalie had been going back and forth because Natalie wanted to have a surgery. She wanted to have it in peace, so she took the truck and she didn't say anything. He's pissed because he's like, I took time off. She's like, well, I'm sorry. I wanted to do it on my own because the doctor told me to just don't stress. Come here, do it on your own. And now she's happy. She's doing her stretches. She's doing her squats. She thinks life is great. And he's sitting there with this stupid band on his head. And he's like, I'm not happy. Like, I feel this isn't right. And I'm just like, I'm not happy either that TLC casted both of you. So is there anything really we want to say about these two, or do we just want to skip over them?
I can't wait for them to get into the fight where he gets into his high-pitched voice next week. That's the only thing. I completely forgot they were even on this episode, but then I remember he was throwing that tire around because he's trying to work out that body.
One word, pathetic.
Ooh.
It's pathetic what they did.
I agree with her.
The mullet yesterday with that band on his head.
Oh, he doesn't have the mullet.
Well, maybe he would have.
He might in the future. I would love to see Uncle Bo with the band, though.
I'm like,
he looked like a 70s workout video or 80s.
It's like he knows it's wrong, but he still caters for her. Like, I can't see how that is remotely true when he still has her at home. But then again, like, he bashes her for doing obnoxious things, and the same thing, she does what she does, and then she expects him just to wake up in the morning and everything is fine and dandy. Like, these two, if Delusional was a couple, these two. Gosh.
Well, and Angela and Michael, but we already did that. No, Natalie, no, honestly, it really is. This is, at this point, it even kind of makes me want to talk about it less because we know now that they're not even together. And it just makes you think, like, it's painful to watch. Like, this is a couple where you're watching them on TV, and it's like, if you could say 3 nice things about each other, I don't even think they'd be able to do it. I think
that's what happens next week. That's what sparks the fight next week.
Oh, is that what sparked? They asked each other?
Well, in their interview, I guess they ask her, what do you love about Michael? And he loses it because she can't figure out what she wants to say.
But that's not
and he gets into a high-pitched voice.
But that's not the first time that she does that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least she's honest. Like, if you asked me, like, what do you love about Jason? I'd be like, I love that he's outgoing. He's a chameleon in social situations. He's always great around here. He helps me with everything. He's super supportive. He's my best friend. I could sit here and list things and it would be so organic, and I'm not fluffing you because I can tell you.
And you guys are still not married.
Yeah. Okay. That's my own childhood trauma festering within my soul and my bones, Kempire. You're picking at me and it's not nice.
He's twerking on the fence again.
Yeah, you're twerking
I'm not even twerking on the fence on this topic. I'm already over the fence.
Over the fence, okay.
I'm on Jason's side.
Well, if he wasn't over the fence and he was still twerking on the fence, I would be the one pushing him over the fence.
Oh, that's great. Great decision.
But at least Mike decided to actually move forward and get married to this woman that can't even figure out one thing that she loves about him. And you just listed off like 20.
That was stupid. He looks stupid. He like his mullet mom is the best, and I can say that. I can still say that. I can say I ran around. My parents gave me a bowl cut for like 5 years, and I look like.
Ooh, we need that photo.
The Beatles. I'll get you the photo. I had bleach blonde hair and I had a bowl cut, so I looked weird. But okay, I own that. I did, and I'd walk around with my little stuffed dolphin. I thought I was the coolest kid in school with my little high top socks. How they didn't know I was gay, I have no idea. Anyways, getting back to Mike and Natalie, this just doesn't, she was right. Why don't marry her? Because at the end of the day, it's going to cause you more problems. If you guys can't get along before you get married, what the hell do you think is going to happen after you get married? It's like couples who think, oh, you know, right now we're in a bad place in our life. So I think the best thing that we can do now is let's have a baby. No.
At her just the same. Like, this is the thing. Whatever they say true about the other applies to them. This is why they're so delusional. Like, she knew she was the first one to throw the ring at him. So, like, why did you get married to that? You knew from the get-go. Like, I feel like these two, they are in it for the money.
Yeah.
Money they're getting, obviously. And here, Angela takes a pass because of her grandchildren. Because at least Angela is providing for kids. These people are in the show for...
Well, they have the rat and the cat.
Exactly. The rat. Oh, gosh.
And they saved the rat. So technically, we have to give them... Let's throw them a bone here. We have to throw them a bone. But one person... One person I could take the bone and just like smack them upside the back of the head with, and I have to talk about this really quick, is Asuelu's sister Tammy. I can't with Tammy. Sometimes, and I don't promote violence. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just like a figure of speech or whatever they call it. I would never hit somebody with a bone. But I'm saying like Tammy is just annoying as hell. And she has Twitter fingers and she's a keyboard gangster. And she's going over the screen and she's like, I will beat you up, Kalani and Kalini. And I will beat up your whole family.
And she's gonna save the season.
I'm like, yeah, Kalani will Kalani's gonna. You're gonna say that one more time to her, and Kalani and Kolini, they're gonna mollywop your ass, mollywop you, pull you outside, bring you back in, pull you outside again, do some more, bring you back in, put you back together, and send you on your way.
I like to see it.
Yeah,
I don't want to see any violence.
Yesterday, like for me, Tammy is carrying this whole season.
Tammy's not even been on the season yet.
I know. That's telling, but that's my point.
I know.
Like yesterday, that's if it's something that I want to see, I'm looking forward to is the fight. Unfortunately, we don't condone violence, but like I just want to see them, like how obnoxious that will be, how out of line she is. But then again, Kalani, you knew that was going to happen. You should have stopped right there and there. No, she's not welcome until she apologizes.
Yeah.
So she didn't do that. So this is where I'm like, but yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
But why?
Looking forward to that from the beginning.
No, but honestly, I agree too. She should not be, especially around the holiday times, like when it's special for the kids. Like the holidays are supposed to be magical, right? And most homes, like if that's something that you celebrate, if you don't, I understand. But if you do celebrate it and you do it up and it's like, oh, is Santa coming? And you want it to be a time of just like love and joy and cooking and just being around the family and enjoying that moment. This is not something that should be settled around the holidays. This should have been settled and resolved before the holidays and then have that moment. But this just looks like it's a Hurricane Tammy coming. Wait.
The thing is, though, the holidays usually brings out the better side of people, so maybe it's the perfect time to bring it up. Both your face. It might be the best time to bring it up. People are a lot sweeter during the holidays.
Tammy, no. Tammy's gonna get a candy cane up the.
I mean, I hope not, because we need this to be really interesting for the next episode. But I'm really not interested. There's more going on these YouTube streets that are more entertaining than what's going on this damn show. They failed us this season.
They failed us.
They did fail us.
And that tree that they picked, the whole family, that tree, I'm not saying that it should have been huge. It was really like Charlie Brown tree. It was, come on. I was offended by that.
And speaking, I almost glazed over this couple. Speaking of trees, we still have Tiffany and Ronald. And Ronald ends up sleeping in the other room because he has this South African man. He's explained, as a South African man, I'm used to things being a certain way where I lead the family, I take charge. And she comes, from an American perspective of like men and women should both contribute equally. And then I help you. But just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I cook, clean, and like have your babies and you sit down on your ass and don't do anything. So there's kind of this back and forth, like they're not really understanding each other. And when he says, what do you need from me? I agree with her. She's like, I don't want to tell you. I wouldn't want to tell you either. Like, if Jason, again, referring back to my own, I'm sure he loves this, by the way. If he listens, he's probably like, stop talking about me. Like, I don't even help you anymore. I do my own work. So just leave me out of this. So sorry, Jason. But like, if I had to tell Jason, like, this is what I need, I would be so annoyed. And I would only want to say it one time. And after that one time, we'd be taking a trip. And then you wouldn't be coming back from the trip. I would have your shit moved out.
Oh.
Or I would have my shit moved out. And we would just
like a real cancer.
Yeah, I mean, we're both cancer, so we're either like Romeo and Juliet or like Romeo and Romeo that just wants to like. But that's not how we are in this home. We're very Romeo and Juliet and very loving.
Allegedly.
I
I think
not allegedly, it's me. I'm telling you.
I'm saying allegedly because I don't believe it. No, I'm joking. I love you guys. The thing is here, what you said. If you've said it, if you've spoken, this is what I want. I'm not sure if she said what she wants to him clearly enough. I think that's important, and that's the downfall of a lot of relationships. People aren't clear with what they want.
You were reading my mind. This is what I was going to say. At the core of any disagreement in a relationship, most of the time is because, at least I'm going to speak myself, like I feel like he should know better. But then again, when I try to verbalize it and he doesn't do it, this is where the problem should happen. But this is the thing. She claimed that he yelled at her that I'm busy when he was mopping the floors, and she clearly saw him. He didn't yell at her. He told her, I'm mopping the floor. The floor is wet. So this is where she loses me completely. She has, just like Yara, she has tons of valid points. But you know, where he lives is a poor area. He doesn't really have a job. He has a past, and he has been part-time dad. So he doesn't know the dynamics. I'm just going to give him this benefit of the doubt. So this is where it's important that she tells him, this is what I expect from you, and I'm going to tell you exactly. So try to go by this. So when we go to the grocery store, she saw what he was picking. Why did she let him bring that to the cashier? She should have said it right at the, no, Ronald, we are here for milk, eggs, and essentials because of our financial situation. So
yeah, but he also uses the son, Daniel, to like sway her too, and he tries to get the boy excited. That way, you know, she's the one who's disappointing her son and getting his, like, ruining his hopes and dreams, after this one over here is building him up on, you know, unrealistic ideas of what that looks like.
I think he can't sway even the son. I think he is the mature person in this whole relationship. I don't think he can even like cater to that thought. Nobody can play that kid. That kid, he just wants a family. He wants a dad. And what he loves about Ronald is that Ronald is claiming him as his son.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I feel like for the sake of continuing the storyline, this is where, and she said it from her own mouth. She said, I expect from him, I know the situation, but I expect from him more. But I don't, but he's not doing enough. But girl, train him. Tell him how he can get to the enough. That's what she needs to do. And why I say that, I know he's a grown-ass man, but you signed up for this. She married him, and she's trying to bring him here. And now there's another level, like we know they're not together, like in the YouTube streets. So this is odd. So it's very disingenuous.
Did you catch where they kept saying, though? Like, she's like, you know, why would you want to buy this truck? Why would you want to get this business when you're coming over in 3 months? Did you catch that? Because she said that like 2 or 3 times.
Because he knows he's not.
Well, not at that point. At that point, they didn't necessarily know. We know now, months later, after this has been filmed, that the relationship, has fallen apart. But right. Here's the thing. Why is every time that we see this couple, they're shopping for something just to sort of set him up? You can't afford that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That is a setup.
It's a setup for the storyline. I would think they knew long ago, because she went to the divorce lawyer. I would be shocked if production doesn't tell him, hey, she went to the production. So maybe this is why he's trying to milk as much as he can from the show. Oh, I want to get this. I want to get this truck. You know, maybe this is where he's, oh, I'm going to try to get as much as I can while I'm in this show. Because it's impossible for him to be blindsided by any possible downfall of this relationship. And the same applies to her. She is like Crimea River. I don't believe her tears at all. I don't. I'm sorry, Tiffany. I don't.
I believe her tears. I mean, I do feel like, you know, it's a relationship that she wanted to work. I don't believe this was a made-up relationship. I do believe that there, at some point, there was true feelings between these two, but I definitely think it's run its course.
Yeah.
Would you believe, question for you, if you had to pick between Tiffany's tears and these tears, whose tears would you believe more?
You know what? You are so shady. Tiffany's tears.
Tiffany.
Okay. I just want to ask. That's all.
Tiffany's tears, because at least she puts good mascara.
Well, this is okay. What a lackluster episode, to say the least.
You know something? And yesterday, since you brought up Erica Jane, like Michael Rappaport, he was defending her.
Oh, listening to him, I was like, shut up.
Oh my God. He's blaming us, the fans, of turning our backs on them. Like, did he watch the documentary? We know for a fact that these victims did not get their settlement. The money is somewhere. And for him to say she's been a class act by saying she gives 0 Fs, Michael Rappaport, like, oh, please, just take a seat, man. I wish Kenya was there to check his...
And that's a perfect segue as why I don't like talking about Michael Rappaport based on his behavior regarding his fight with Kenya Moore. Moving on.
It's like, it's
I have to go look into that. Oh, speaking of which, I spoke a little bit with Ronald Richards yesterday, and there is, I know, there's some more stuff that's going to be coming out today via Twitter. I'm curious if he posted it yet. He shared it with me yesterday, so that's going to be, look out for Ronald Richards' Twitter. And then I was texting with Fallon Gobadia earlier, because this whole Jalen Banks rumor that's going on, and he's saying, like, I had to pick up where you left off, and we started off as best friends. I really feel like he's playing the system, because when I went out with them, I did not get this vibe. It was nothing like this. It was a very, like, you know how, like, when you have a girl best friend? Huh?
How you doing?
I mean,
how you doing vibe?
You said that, not me. But I just didn't get that vibe. So I feel like there's a game that's being played here. And so...
I mean, wait, before you move forward with this. Okay, so is Fallon confirming this relationship? Uh-oh. Is this TV? And this is why you guys need to be locked into his channel.
Yes.
No, she hasn't texted me back yet, because I asked her, I said, are you confirming it or denying it? And if you are confirming it, can I do a video on it? If you're denying it, can I do a video on it? Because I just want to be respectful. I don't want to all of a sudden have some Real Housewife of Potomac just attacking me on Twitter for no freaking reason, because they think that I said or did something that is,
again,
you know what I'm saying? Don't worry about your husband, okay? Get him some credentials.
Yes.
That's all. But with that being said, guys, I'm not going to be here and be the shady palm tree, even though I live in South Florida. I'm not Cherie, so I'm not going to check you, boo. Or Sheree. See, now I sound like an asshole. Okay. Kempire, before we go, and also Miriam, I've posted where you can get in contact with both of them in the description already to this video. So if you'd like, you could just go down below and click those links. Kempire has a monologue. Miriam's is a little bit shorter. Miriam, we'll start with you, and then we'll end off with Kempire.
I just to start, like, since you have my my handle in your description, not _ paid _ by _ anyone. I would appreciate you guys to follow me on Instagram, and on YouTube. I am up to 54 subscribers.
Whoa!
Every time I come in your live, I get more subscribers, Adam.
Can I just say, did you just see Kempire checking to make sure that his stuff was inside of the description off to the side?
I was not. I was checking the chat. No, I didn't.
Now I definitely see the tire marks on your forehead.
I was looking. I have my other computer where I have the YouTube chat, so I can chat with people.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have that.
And then I have the StreamYard in front of me.
I need to get on Kempire's grind because I just have this computer and then I have this camera in my face and then I have this ring light and this box light and this box light and this TV that doesn't do a damn thing because last time I hooked it up, I was on lag.
It's a whole process. If people only knew the process it takes to try and get this right, especially if you're trying to elevate what you're doing, it's a lot of stuff.
You both elevate YouTube. I'm just going to say that as an indirect reference to another show we love. And what I love world, whenever the three of us are together, we twirl over all the shows.
Not twirl.
That's my favorite part.
What is that?
No, I mean like when we talk about
my Christmas blanket.
In honor of the Christmas episodes.
Yeah, in honor of the Christmas episode. Thank you, number one nobody.
It does.
All right. With that, Empire, watch this, guys.
I'm not doing it.
I will love Empire.
One.
As Adam said, you can follow all the links to subscribe to my channel in the description of his video. Please also subscribe to my podcast, Kempire Radio, which is available on all platforms. Thank you for having me, Adam, as always.
No, that was a little bit short.
Because I changed it.
Love it, Kempire. I swear to you, it's very on point. Nice, and we love it. I'm seriously telling. I love the way you used to plug your channel. I don't know why you stopped. It's really
we're actually, to be honest with you, I think you're more so hurting our feelings now than you're giving us anything by trying to give us Kathy Hilton shorthand vibes by shortening up the actual monologue that we live for at the very end.
That's very helpful.
It's like offering us a 3-course meal and then you said, "You go get your your dessert at Froyo." Okay, so we'll go get our dessert elsewhere. We're not getting the dessert.
Well, look, if they want the dessert, they can. You guys can go lock into my YouTube channel where I say it all the time at the top of my videos.
Oh, how selfish is that? Plugging his own stuff and he won't bring it here. Okay. All right, Miriam, Kempire, with that, I'm just kidding, guys. We always have harmless fun on here. Everybody has different opinions, which is fun. We invite that. Also, for you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being a part of this, and for our mods. Also, if you have and you do want to comment any of your opinions below, comment them on the video, and we like to hear them. It doesn't have to be. I read comments where people get pissed because they have an opinion and then everybody goes after them. That's not what I'm inviting here. And we're changing up our merch store. There's a lot of fun things happening with that. So I'm dropping a video in like the next 30 minutes, and then hopefully more news breaks today. I would normally do the Jalen Fallon Portia video. However, out of respect to Fallon, I think that I'm not going to do that video, but I'm sure Kempire, somebody else, whoever wants to touch it will do it. And
I already did.
Huh? Did you?
I already did.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping you give me some more tea so I can report on that. But
And then Ronald Richards is dropping more information today that directly links Erica Girardi and Lisa Rinna. So wait for it.
What? I knew it. I knew this was.
You don't know nothing until it's posted.
No, but you know why? Remember when she said in the last episode, Erica, we know you're a good person? I was like, that was really dumb. Would I want to be saying for someone in Erica's position that I know you? That implies there's some kind of link in there. And look, you're confirming my intuition.
Well, I'm just confirming that they share certain things, and those certain things will be posted. So with that,
we stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys. Bye.